Hi everyone, it's Elise from Kit and Clatter online colouring classes, and today I'm going to take you through a mini colouring tutorial for how to colour up our lion head. This is one of the first chapters from our brand new Wilderness Within colouring class for pencils. I hope you'll enjoy this little mini lesson and hope to see you over in our classrooms. I'm going to start us off with our yellowed orange pencil here, and very quickly I'm just going to draw that straight into the iris shape. Now that pencil is done. I'm going to then grab my black pencil and we're going to create detail around our eye. Make sure your pencil is nice and sharp when you do this step and all steps throughout the tutorial, especially when we're working on a smaller image like this. I'm going to come around that little iris that we just created. And you can see I'm creating almost like triangular shape around there to create the eye. Now this shape is going to extend forward into that line that's already drawn for you on the paper. This is the side of the nose area. Now typically under the eye we would have a little bit of white as well. So I'm just going to do some little dabs with my pencil, extending around that little eye area and into where that line is on the outer edge. And again up toward that nose area as well. And it's just a series of little soft strokes to begin with. We're just mapping in our areas. Above the eye, I want to bring this line up, and I'm also going to leave a little bit of white. So I'm going to do those little dabs out to the side. And I'm going to do the same thing above that line as well. So I've basically got little pockets of white around the eye on each side. This is going to come into the side and toward my nose. I'm also going to leave a little bit of white around the nose and mouth area. So we'll step back from there, doing our little strokes. Leave more white than you think because you can always go back and add more of the darker color, but we can't take it away. Going to trace the mouth. And again, I'm leaving that little pocket of white. Now, typically when we do fur, it's always going to emanate in a circle around the nose to eye area. So these strokes are going to curve up toward that eye area there. Now, in this area between the mouth and the side of where that nose is going to end up being a lot darker. So I'm going to just come around firstly and I'm going to do little individual strokes down the side of the chest of our lion. And I'm not really worrying about the lines that have already been drawn in here. I'm kind of going over those and just extending out so these strokes are nice and soft and I get that little furry edge. That way, whatever is happening inside, it doesn't really matter because we've indicated that fur along the edge area there. You'll notice that I've spaced out the strokes with gaps between them, and then I start to connect them a little further in. So at my very edge, I basically have individual strokes that are all spaced out. And I'm going to come back and do this on the other side. Now you'll see these little lines here at the top that are drawn in. I'm using that as like my edge. So my strokes, not necessarily over the top of what's there, that's just a little guideline that I drew in to help you know how far to extend this black color. So that's going to just extend out along that area and then up toward the top where that mane is starting. And that's the area we're working on today, so that's all mapped out. So then through this area now, I'm just bringing through individual strokes, but they're closer together because I want this to be a little darker. And then as I get up toward the eye area and toward the nose area, my pressure on these strokes is going to get a little softer. In this outer area, it's harder because I want the color to be darker. When I want the color to fade, that's when my pressure is getting softer. Connecting the eye out to that back area there so it's a little stronger. And I might try and leave a little bit of white just around that eye shape as well. So it's almost like you've got white, black, white, black. And a little touch of white on the bridge of the nose so you can sort of show that highlight through there as well. You'll notice that wherever colors are ending, it's not ending in a straight line. So my strokes are all different lengths. So I have that nice control. It's important that we sharpen up our pencil regularly as we do the face because the detail is so small. And I'm just doing little strokes around the chin, again, all different lengths, so it looks more soft and natural. I'm going to do a bit down from the mouth area there as well. And now our nose, so I'm going to come into the side, along the tops with a nice hard line here, and around the edge. And then I'm going to jump straight through the middle, but the middle being a little bit more toward this right side. And I'm going to thicken up our left side. All right, now we can go back and just work on making some of our detail a little darker. You can see just darkening up like some of the detail on the side. And I'm especially going to come through in this lower area here because I want this part of the lion's face to sort of fade into where our night sky is going to be. So I'm really focusing this darker color through here, but allowing it to get softer as I get more toward our facial features, like our eyes and our nose. And also at the very edges as well. So you get that nice fade on your stroke so you can still see the texture. So it's almost like we're doing these little strokes within these areas. And can you believe it? That is chapter 1 all finished. So probably a lot easier than you were thinking. What we actually can do before we move on, just for like the tiniest bit of variation, is I've got a little bit of Peacock Blue and I'm kind of just going to very lightly dab this where the black is ending. It's so minor, but because our sky is going to have a lot of blues and aquas in it, it will just tone the black the tiniest bit. So it's more of like a blue black. But hopefully that was not as hard as you were thinking. And we already probably have the hardest part of the image all done now. So now we're going to take our little lion head and we're going to expand on that and start creating this background landscape. Want to color the rest of this image with me? You can find the full class over at kitandclouder.com. For more on coloring, please check out my website at kitandclouder.com. I have loads of free color blend charts for markers and pencils. a fully comprehensive colouring FAQs page including tips on getting started, printers, papers and more, and all of my colouring classes, with even some freebies on the homepage for you to try. Make sure you check out our very supportive online community as well, where you can share all of your work with over 30,000 members learning all around the world together. Hope to see you in the classrooms, and thank you so much for watching.